Why did you schedule this call on my off hours? Been reading other stories of virtual meeting shenanigans. Thought I will add my own. Day off. Attending a hazard reduction burn. So out in the bush with a fire truck. Suited up and running around like a happy pyromaniac. I get a phone call from work. I answer and get told I must be present for a virtual meeting scheduled for 10 minutes time for a training on a system I already know, as I had been using it for the past 6 months at a venue. I remind them that it is my day off, and my manager speaks with the tone of, "Do it or you are fired." Alrighty then. First strike. Manager is late to their own meeting. The meeting eventually starts and I have connected by my phone and Bluetooth earphones. My camera and mic are off because of the noise. The other firefighters are having a chuckle at my expense. Then my manager insists I turn my camera and mic on. Otherwise they will mark me as absent. Alrighty then. I stand in a spot where the fire will roar up behind me, somewhat safely. And turn my phone, camera and mic on. The rest of the firefighters go nuts with the radio chatter as the people in the virtual meeting. See yours truly masked up. Full ensemble with the noise of fire roaring up behind him. The sound of the pump and the panicking radio chatter. I then end the call. Manager then begins to frantically ring, as she thinks she has just seen one of her better team members go up in flames. They never scheduled training on my days off after that. Jumped ship to a competitor 2 months later. Do it or you are fired. Translation. Do you want to quit now or at a time that is maximally inconvenient for me? Sometimes people just need to accept that, "I can't right now," is legitimate. I received one of those calls from a manager when they didn't accept that I was calling in sick. Because I was in the hospital. I had a nurse take a picture of me mid-appendectomy and I sent that to them during recovery. I was left alone for the entire 4 weeks off for recovery. You better have gotten paid for attending that meeting. My husband was injured at work and they kept telling him he needed to talk with the insurance and lawyer people about the incident. He told them to let him know when they get here. Speaking at work, they looked confused and told him, "No, you have to call them after work because it will take a few hours to sort everything." So he asked what service he uses to submit the overtime required for that. They laughed and said they weren't going to pay him for talking on the phone. Well, he said, then they can call me on the clock or come here in person. When I am off work I have non-work related stuff to do. I don't have hours to spend covering your butts. Attend the meeting or get fired. I'll show you fired. I was on maternity leave, and the management teams across our sister locations tended to float as needed. I get a call from Sister Store demanding I come in. I said, "Nope, can't do that. Talk to DM." And they kept calling and calling instead. I texted DM and simply said, "Can you remind Sister Store that I am on maternity leave?" With a screenshot of every missed call. DM asked if he could call me, which I agreed to, and said he was gonna personally head to Store A, give the manager their hell all night, and to please send him pictures of the baby. Call him once my OB cleared me to return to work. Next time I showed up at Sister Store A, I realized a certain manager wasn't a manager anymore. Oops. Are you the reason why Perth's been smoked out this past week? Management is stupid. I think it's the dreaded Peter principle. This happened about 10 years ago. I planned a road trip out west. Was going to be in southern Utah for part of the trip. Told my boss I would have no cell service. Don't call. And left him my personal email if there was a true emergency, as I had better odds of having Wi-Fi at the campgrounds. Part of my job was submitting reports to criminal court, so an emergency was possible. The typist accidentally deletes an emailed report that she has to copy and paste to the right forms. Timeline is urgent as it is for a court hearing scheduled before I get back from vacation. Boss calls me. I only got the message because I was driving past a small town that actually had some cell service. And he'd left a voicemail. He needed my password to get my original copy of the report off of my computer. Would not email me, despite the fact that the campground I was in had Wi-Fi. Just no cell service. And Wi-Fi calling was not a thing at the time. I had to email a friend to call my boss with the password. SMH. I had managers try this when I worked at the Walgreens I worked at. I only worked Sundays. Due to graduating from college and getting my career started, they called me in the morning and said I needed to come in. No can do. I'm working all day and not close to the store. Another manager calls and says I need to do my evaluation today. And it can be at any Walgreens. I just need to go in and do it. No can do. As I'm already working my other job and don't have time to stop and spend an hour filling out the evaluation. The store manager then calls and uses her "Mama's done playing games and you need to get your act together" voice, saying I need to get this done today. No excuses. I tell her, had you made me aware of this 4 days ago when I was on my shift there and working, I would have gladly done it. But I am not scheduled to work today. And if you push this, not only will my review be bad, but I'll call corporate on you for bullying. Bitch literally hung up on me. I didn't hear anything about it at my next shift. I quit 2 months later. Worked part-time at GameShop as a second part-time gig. District boss scheduled new console training on a Sunday morning before the store opened. Well, I worked my actual full-time job 4 a.m. to noon and made literally double there than at GameShop. Told gaming store I can't make training due to me working my job that actually pays the bills and asked can I do the training later that week. Oh, and I'm at the other part-time gig, a liquor store, while on the phone with GameShop. Well, they fired me from GameShop right then and there. I got off the phone with my GameShop and turned to liquor boss. And he just goes, "How did you get fired on your day off?" Quote. Threatening to fire someone if they don't work on their day off should be illegal in any civilized country. I had something similar happen. I was at the very far end of an undisclosed military base. One of the ones that is physically larger than some US states. Installing some equipment. There was no Wi-Fi at all. And the only cellular signal I could get was one bar standing on top of the berm of a firing range. I told boss that there would be live fire exercises going on during that meeting. And honestly, I didn't need to be there. But they insisted and kept asking questions I'd already answered via email. So I ended up having gunfire interrupt every other word until the boss finally got mad and ended the call early. It's my day off and you are scheduling this without any notice, so I won't be attending the meeting. For those reasons, attend the training or you will be fired. I won't be attending. So just let me know when my last day is. Burn baby burn, Disco Inferno. I had a work phone and a personal phone. I had been offered a lateral title shift to a job I had already been doing for no increase in pay, but a large increase in responsibility. I took a week vacation in Switzerland. I left my work phone. I got called on my personal cell phone by HR and told them I'm on a different continent at a bar on vacation. They asked me if I'm going to accept the offer or not. I told them I'll tell them when I get back. Got pulled into a meeting at a funeral. Everyone, except the host, was more than happy to say hi to my boss at the time. It's weird. My boss wasn't with the company very long after that. Had a much milder version of this recently. I start work at 8:30. One of our managers schedules our quarterly meeting at 8, but made the meeting 10 minutes before it started. When only one person shows up, he then asks where I am and is told I'm not online yet. He cancels the meeting for another time and messages me about being on time for meetings in the future. I gather you're one of our RFS volunteers, so I would like to say thank you very much. Wherever you are in the wide brown land, we all appreciate you. Absolutely perfect compliance. Lol. Wish I could have been a fly on the wall of your manager's office. Do it or you are fired. Could you put that into writing for me, please? Less than hang up.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.